Alrighty, there we go. That's probably the quickest that ever went live. Alrighty. What is going on, YouTube? It is your boy, ThunderBuddy29 here, back today with another discussion stream. As I had just uploaded my video just recently, made my recent rant video on this current season, talked about why it sucked and everything, I figured since the support of that video was just so phenomenal, like I'm just blown away from all the support I had gotten on that video, I figured today, I think now the time's right to do a follow-up discussion. So, yep, I got my good friend Base Day's ass back in here again. Okay, I think I'm starting it way too early. There's only one person in here. What's up, Hawaii Jimmy? Alright, we only got one person in here so far. Everyone else is getting in here now. Good to see you all. Hope you're all having a great afternoon. It's a nice, beautiful 2:09 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Are you going to make a video of I show speed showing his stuff? You mean I show dick? You mean that guy?
So YouTube needs to just terminate him. He should have been terminated
I
a
mean,
really long time ago when he
he
showed a Minecraft sex mod to children, but now this is
or
just
no,
getting ridiculous.
or no, being part of a thing that's getting people copyright striked.
Yeah.
But gotten by with that too. But okay, like I said, this is not an I show speed stream. This is not an I show speed stream. That was just someone who typed in the chat. But I appreciate that question though. But today we got some stuff to talk about. We got some more stuff to talk about this season. I figured just doing a follow-up discussion, kind of like talk about things that happened after and things I forgot to include in my video. And I got my good friend in here, Base Days Ass here again. Maybe we might have Shadow Lord maybe make an appearance. But we'll see. But anyways, you got anything you want to first add in before we dive deep into this discussion?
I don't really have anything else to add, but I think the first two things we should start off with is the battle pass and the maps, since these are things you didn't mention in your video.
I mean, I did in my first one, but nothing really changed. I just didn't want to repeat that point again. I mean, the Battle Pass,
Yeah.
we all know, just wasn't as exciting. It wasn't that
Yeah, the
exciting. We
battle
all know
pass
that.
was mediocre. The main problem with the battle pass is the fact that the secret skin was literally Meowscles, which had to be the lamest secret skin of all time. Like, they could have made the new version of Dr. Sloan the secret skin, but instead they just picked the most random choice.
I know, that was kind of bull. And the fact that Dr. Sloan just randomly came back after being crushed in a tank. Or no, like
Not
what?
even just crushed in a tank. The whole chapter 3 island literally exploded at the end of the chapter, and somehow Dr. Sloan is still alive. Like,
Like,
that is just complete bullshit. At this point, they're just giving Sloan plot armor because Fortnite completely ran out of ideas for the storyline, and now they're just bringing back the exact same person over and over again. And you can't even compare this to something like Marvel or DC because Marvel has several different villains. It's like if they kept on bringing back like a random villain like Ultron constantly. Marvel has a shit ton of villains and they don't constantly bring back the same ones. But you can't say the same thing with fucking Fortnite.
in fact, Fortnite has pretty much had an abandoned storyline since the end of Chapter 3. The storyline is just, they've completely just abandoned it. Like, nothing happened. There's been no live events this entire season. There's been no updates to the actual storyline, like official updates to the storyline, other than the changes in the map that we got. And Dr. Sloan appearing in the first teaser trailer of the season. That's the only thing we've gotten. And there's clearly no explanation how Dr. Sloan even fucking survived in the first place. I mean, like I said,
Like
like
I
the
said, it's
island
just
blew up,
plot
got
armor.
crushed in a tank. Yeah, it's pretty much plot armor at that point.
I mean, even if she closed the tank before she got crushed, shouldn't like the force of like that giant mech that is built out of I don't know that sort of material, shouldn't she be like heavily injured despite that?
I mean, exactly. And the fact that you're just. It's kind of like the same bullshit Call of Duty Ghost pulled off at the end of their campaign when Rourke got shot in the stomach with a 44 Magnum and then got submerged underwater. Or no, the subway car got submerged underwater. And then you had to carry your buddy out of there while almost dying yourself. And all of a sudden, Rourke is still alive, even though no one carried him out. He's still alive. And he's completely walking perfectly fine despite being shot with a 44 Magnum, which is one of the most powerful handgun rounds there is.
Like literally.
It's
And
the
the funny
same
thing is,
bullshit.
the other Fortnite villains we've had did not get this many chances. Like Midas was introduced in Chapter 2, Season 2, and he's never been seen after that. He got eaten by a shark. The Cube Queen was seen in Chapter 2, Season 2, never seen again after that. She got crushed by the island. The Herald, Chapter 3, Season 4, she literally kamikazed the whole map. Never seen after that. It's like, why do all of these other Fortnite villains last one season, but Dr. Sloan lasts several? Like,
And the funny thing is, like what Calamas said in his copy and pasted video of mine, didn't Meowscles get blown up to pieces? Yeah, he got blown up to
Well,
pieces.
it's a different version of Meowscles.
It's pretty much, it's like the third one there is. And yeah, the cube. Yeah, let's also talk about Cube Queen. Someone brought it up in the chat. Let's talk about the Cube Queen. She didn't get that many chances, and she was probably way more powerful than fucking Dr. Sloan.
Bro, she literally summoned like a mega like mothership, summoned a bunch of creatures. She could literally control all of the cubes, and she gets defeated by the island. Like, that is just fucking ridiculous. From one of the most powerful fucking villains in Fortnite gets crushed by an island, but Dr. Sloan, just some random agent who works for an organization, can survive getting crushed by a mech and survive a whole island exploding. And they're putting Sloan on a redemption arc too, so Sloan being evil was essentially pointless then.
Well, pretty much that. But other than that, well, I think we need to have a further discussion about that near the end of next season because, of course, we all know what's going to happen. They're going to make chapters yearly from that point on, which we're going to also get further into that later on in this discussion as we talk more and more about this disastrous season. Another thing, too, should definitely mention, too, how fucking horrendous the loot pool was and just the main mechanical issues that the season has
Mm.
had that Fortnite has purposely ignored and was quickly trying to change the subject in an attempt to dodge the criticisms.
Yeah, like I think the best part about the season was the map, aka the Vietnam area, but even that area wasn't that good because they introduced these indestructible trees that people would constantly camp on top of, and it was a pain in the ass to navigate. Without the vines, people would not know where the fuck they were going. It literally is Vietnam. Like, if they should have just added the AK-47 and the helicopters back in the game at that point.
You know what's funny too? The another thing I forgot to include in my video, the only loophole that had like the only game mode that had like a very decent loophole, it was fucking Team Rumble. It had the AK return. The AK return only in fucking Team Rumble, then the pump shotgun, the OG pump shotgun returned. And that was before the legendary pump shotgun was brought back, but the rarity of it was dropped. That was before that happened. Like, we should have just had a loophole like that to begin with. And like I said too, freaking the lack of mobility too. Like that was a joke. And it's like people were demanding Epic so hard to address these problems. And what did they do? Nothing. They were doing whatever they had to do in an attempt to change the subject, dodge the criticisms by spamming in all the collabs at the end of the season, and of course, hosting this new Rainbow Royale event too. All just distraction tactics. That's all it is. You know what's funny too about the whole Rainbow Royale thing that they just started yesterday? It's almost the same shit that Blizzard's trying to pull off. The same shit Blizzard attempted after the PvE fiasco when they canceled that game mode. Then they hosted that they hosted their own Pride Month event literally a week after that. Like look at that. And did it save Overwatch 2? Nope. But I think we should definitely talk about Overwatch 2 some other time. I am planning to make a video on that pretty soon, closer to when this season is over, along with COD. But back,
Yeah,
but
but
back, but back
like
to Fortnite.
But like the mobility, they did not do anything to fix the mobility. Like I don't think people enjoy driving a car on mud constantly. Like the only mobility options they had were cars and raptors, which raptors were extremely fucking annoying.
Oh yeah,
Whenever you get into a fight with someone, the raptors would literally come out and attack you. And literally, nobody wanted these to come back. I remember one time I was trying to revive Thunder in the Storm. A raptor attacks me and he literally dies.
I
Like,
know.
the
That's
raptors were just so annoying.
that's why people were comparing this to the Primal season because the fucking Raptors were so fucking annoying. This is like the first time since Chapter 2 Season 6 I actually got really annoyed with the wildlife. It was the first time since then I got so annoyed with the wildlife. Like, why the fuck do they have to make raptors that annoying?
Especially when they're scattered anywhere.
I
And
mean, and
after the
they were
summer
supposed
update,
they were supposed to be only in the jungle area, but somehow they made its way all across the map somehow.
And
And
after the summer update, the only forms of mobility they even added were shockwave grenades, which was only in no builds, and the grapple glove in like the last 3 weeks of the season.
the grapple
Like,
glove was the
why wasn't
only
this at the beginning?
I don't know, the grapple glove was like the only useful item, especially during that season and in the jungle area when it comes to mobility. That was like the only useful item. It's like they should have just did that to begin with. Why did they not
And
just
this
do that in the first place? If you weren't just constantly focusing on dodging the criticisms or trying to change the subject, if they would have just did that, people wouldn't have been complaining about the lack of mobility as much. Hell, I
And why
wouldn't
the
have.
hell would they only put the shockwave grenades in no builds? Like, I don't like it how Fortnite is giving special treatment to no builds. Like, builds is arguably more popular than no builds. So why not put the shockwave grenades in there too?
And well, they pretty much just abandoned the build game mode pretty much. That's kind of why we hardly play builds because they don't really do anything good for it. They just care about they give the special treatment to zero builds. But yeah, even then, even when they added in shockwave grenades, a lot of people didn't even use them. A lot of people didn't even care for them. That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
Oh damn, we got 22 people watching. I hope you all are still enjoying the stream so far. And I forgot to do the normal intro that I usually do. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. If anyone has any questions, I will try to answer them as best I can. Super chats are automatically a guarantee answer as we continue on with this further discussion. But yeah, the loot pool also was fucking horrendous. I mean, the drum shotgun, well, mainly the mythic drum shotgun.
Yeah.
That
Like
gun was fucking. That was the most overpowered version of the fucking drum by far.
Like the drum shotgun is the most annoying weapon in Fortnite history. Nobody likes this gun. Ever since it was introduced in season 9, everyone's hated it. But Epic Games brings it back instead of a useful shotgun that people actually like. And the drum shotgun was not the only spam weapon. You had the fucking combat SMG too. Like Fortnite is not learning their lesson from
And
Chapter 3 Season 2 when they
and
had both of those in the loot pool simultaneously.
oh, also too, you also have the explosive repeater rifle too,
The
which
explosive repeater rifle is fucking annoying.
I know
Like they
like
should have like
it
nerfed it.
wasn't that bad of a gun at first, but then eventually it got really bad. But I still think it deserved its chance of being in the game. But that should not have been the weapon that replaced the heavy sniper. Taking snipers out too was another big mistake of theirs. Like, why the fuck did you
Like
take snipers out of the game? You should have learned your lesson from Chapter 2, Season 6 when you did that.
like literally the explosive repeater rifle, people just use it to spam at people,
It's
like camping on top of mountains and trees.
and like what I also said, it feels like more of a shotgun than it does a rifle. Because like I said also, that's why people double pumped with it. Because it was more of a shotgun than it was a rifle.
And the mythic weapons too, the mythic weapons were just an absolute fucking joke. Of course you had Optimus Prime's cannon for a whole season, and in the last 2 weeks of the season, they added Bender's ray gun, which was also very annoying and overpowered. And you had the Jujutsu Kaisen mythics, which first of all, this is literally a jungle themed season. Why are you collabing with Jujutsu Kaisen instead of One Piece, especially since the Gear 5 episode released when this season was happening? And second of all, I'm not even gonna lie, the Jujutsu Kaisen mythics are fucking shit. Except in builds. Like the Hollow Purple is good in builds, but all of the other Jujutsu Kaisen mythics are horrible in no builds.
I mean, yeah, like that big giant purple ball thing. That shit. That was the most useless thing in zero builds. I guarantee you in builds, it's actually useful in builds.
Yeah, it is good in builds. But it's like
I
we
mean,
had one overpowered mythic in the game, not to mention the mythics in the island area and in the vault. Why do we need more mythics?
that's what I don't get either. It's like they just don't learn their lesson. They just keep doing it again and again and again. And like I said too, this is exactly why I have the biggest problem with collabs nowadays. It's because they have to force their mythic weapons into the game. That's exactly what they've been doing since chapter 4 started. And I could go on all day about this again. I could. I mean,
Yeah,
chapter 4 season 1, you had My Hero Academia Deku Smash. And then later in that season, Dragon Ball Z Part 2 came back. And then you had their mythics on top of that. And then Attack on Titan in season 2 of chapter 4. And then this season, you had Optimus Prime. And then you had Futurama. And then Jujutsu Kaisen. You had that. I think that's how you said it.
yeah, that's how you say it.
Yeah,
And speaking of like the jungle theme, the collabs that they put in the season did not make sense to be in a jungle theme season. Like every collab they added this season should have been in last season because last season was mega futuristic theme, and you
I,
had Terminator, Optimus Prime, Futurama. Why didn't they add someone like Rambo in this
I
season?
know that would have been an actual. Yeah, that actually would have been a good idea. Or no, you could have collaborated with Predator then. You could have
Or
collaborated with
Indiana
Predator.
Jones.
Like this season had, if you were gonna collaborate with anybody, this was like your perfect opportunity, and they just completely blew it. You had so many. Like, you could have did Jurassic Park. You could have did Predator. I could go on all day of how many collabs that they could have done, and also Indiana Jones. But like I said, potential was completely blown. And they decided to add in all these random collabs that made absolutely no sense to the theming of the season.
And the saddest part about those collapses is that they were literally the biggest updates we received in the season.
And of
Like
course,
the summer update,
that was the other major update, the summer update. Well, not really a major update.
I don't even consider that a major update. In fact, I don't even really consider that an update at all. One square in the fucking jungle that has spray paints isn't an update. And especially since the free rewards were not good, except from the emo. They look like they came up with the rewards in 5 minutes.
More like that whole event came up in like an hour. That
Like
entire
they
event.
could have at least brought back LTMs, like in season 9, where you had LTMs where you
Yeah,
throw
where you had
water balloons at
oh yeah,
people.
and then you had Horde Rush introduced. Even then, I still think Chapter 1 Season 9 was one of the worst seasons of Chapter 1, but what kept me playing the game was a huge amount of content that they put into it, like the LTMs. The LTMs was arguably one of the greatest things about Fortnite in the first place. I just don't know why they just completely threw all that away and just abandoned it. It's the same way they abandoned their storyline pretty much.
I'm betting for the Halloween event this year.
It's probably gonna
They're probably gonna put one boss on the map and put like one set of Halloween decorations on some random house in the middle of nowhere.
That's probably that. Or they're probably just gonna bring back Horde Rush and not change anything about it. I mean, I thought last year's Halloween event was fine, but the reason why I thought it was the worst one compared to the year prior was because it was just the same. The only difference was the different weapons. And in Horde Rush, they took building out. And when you got rid of building in Horde Rush, that pretty much it like depends what game you play in Horde Rush, depends on which path the storm goes. Like if you're going like if you have to climb up a mountain and you can't build, You have to go in the storm, and that is pretty much a code word saying you're fucked. Pretty much. I mean, the fact that they care this season, they spent more time caring more about Creative 2.0 and crossovers more than adding in good content and good updates to the game. Like,
It's like Creative 2.0 died last season. No one cares about Reboot Royale anymore.
I mean, it's funny too because some people thought my Reboot Royale video was so bad. Some people thought that that was bad, but clearly it aged pretty well. It actually aged pretty well because how quickly it died off. And I hate to see it like that. It's like the same shit that they did with 50v50 instead of it being 40v40. They pretty much did the same thing. It's honestly just a
Yeah,
shame. But at the end of the day, I had more fun in creative than I did this current season.
yeah. Especially
Star Guy
since,
put,
like,
I'm doing alright, Spartan. How about you? Star Guy put, no, it's not Reboot Royale. It's many copy and paste team deathmatch maps that have no effort put into them. That too. That's another thing too. I mean, that's why I spent like half the time either playing old game modes or playing death runs. Like, I just don't know what the hell had happened.
I know exactly the reason why this season is so shit. Since we're doing yearly chapters now, instead of focusing on the current season that the player base is playing, they're focusing on the next chapter, the finale event, and Creative 2.0. This is why yearly chapters is such a horrible idea because they end up rushing the seasons and not doing anything with them. That's why throughout chapter 4, while they add in a lot of content at the beginning of the season, throughout the season they don't really add that much, except from the very end. Like season 1, you had the heisted thing. Season 2, you had the Spider-Man mythics, and now this season you had two back-to-back collabs.
And that's definitely a video for another day because that's exactly like, I mean, the start of chapter 4 was actually pretty well. It started out pretty well. But then as the months would go on, and then the more or less content that you'd see, it literally backs up our point of why yearly chapters is such a terrible idea. Because after like 6 months, they pretty much just abandon chapter 3, don't really care much for it anymore. Instead, are putting all their time and energy focusing on the finale event of chapter 4 and the new chapter as well. This is if they're going to actually do yearly chapters, this is probably going to be the number one thing that just kills this game off because it's going to kill this game off because there would be almost no reason to be excited for a new chapter anymore. There would be no reason to be excited for a new chapter if you know they're just going to do them yearly. I'll tell you what,
It,
with the way it's been for the past 2 years, how we go from chapter 2 to chapter 3 to chapter 4, it's almost like you're playing Shadow the Hedgehog. It's like that. I'm not even making that shit up because of the multiple paths you can go, and sometimes it just repeats to the same like intro screen. It's like that with these chapters.
Yeah, like if they're gonna make a new chapter, they can at least create a new gimmick that creates hype. Look at season X or chapter 1. They had the black hole, which caused the game to go extremely viral, and the hype for chapter 2 was unreal. But they stopped doing that. Like for chapter 3, there really wasn't like a unique gimmick. I mean, sure, the live event caused a lot of hype due to Dwayne The Rock Johnson, which we know Fortnite only did that just because of a brand deal. But
Obviously.
for Chapter 4 did not have any hype for it. Like that Fracture event was so shit that it literally killed hype for Chapter 4. And it didn't help that when Chapter 4 launched, there was a shit ton of bugs and glitches inside of
I
it.
mean, even when like in the first 2 months, like when we were in February 2023, even the player count took the biggest drop. In February 2023, the player count dropped by 7%, which was the highest drop ever seen in the game's history by far. I mean, someone put, you can't say that the game will die down with yearly chapters because lately the game has been doing well. Well, this season it's definitely not been doing well. all I've seen this season was one of the biggest burnouts since Chapter 3, Season 3. Like, I have never seen the community so burnt out since then. People get so tired of a season. I've never seen that happen before. And yeah,
Like
and
literally,
I'm and
the
what I'm saying
majority.
is if they're gonna continue doing this, their game will eventually die if they keep doing what they're doing. That's why doing this is a bad idea, because if you're not going to put much content into your final seasons of the chapter, instead you're focusing on the new chapter that's awaiting in December or January or sometime like that, then that's pretty much what's going to kill the game. There'd be no reason to be excited for a new chapter when you know that there's going to be another one waiting for you at that point.
The one thing they can do to maybe fix this issue is maybe if they actually did live events in the seasons, then more people would be excited. Like, even though Chapter 3 was only 4 seasons long, there was an event in Season 2 and a finale event. Like, literally, live events used to happen every season in Chapter 1, then it went from every few seasons in Chapter 2. Like, first season doesn't have the live event, second one does. Like, it would keep on like repeating throughout that. Same thing with Chapter 3, but we did not even get a live event in Season 2, even though there was a perfect opportunity for there to have one.
You mean Chapter 4? Because in Chapter 4, Season 2, we didn't like this entire
Yeah, in
chapter.
Chapter 4, Season
This
2.
entire chapter so far, we haven't had one single live event at all.
The
There,
closest thing we've gotten to a live event is a fucking creative concert for Kid Leroy.
time to get out of here, bro. It's over.
Welcome to my humble abode. I'm sure there's many things that you will enjoy.
Well, not that time. Yeah, there's been tons of problems. Mainly, and it was mainly lack of content that pretty much killed the season off. And it's what even people who are like strong diehard fans of this game, people who I know in real life that are diehard fans of this game, were even getting so burnt out of it. I remember my coworker, he wanted me to add him on Epic, but I just kept forgetting to add him, and I apologized for forgetting. And then he's like, I haven't even been playing that much anyway. Because people have gotten so burnt out. It just proves my point that people are getting burnt out. I mean, I get like, okay, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. The thing is, too, it's like that's exactly what's going on. People are getting so burnt out of the season, they're just getting bored with it. They're getting frustrated with it. And the thing, too, is, and I know this is completely out of Epic's control, it's the fucking third partying. But like I said, too, the only thing that they can really do about that is get rid of skill-based matchmaking. Get rid of it. Keep it in competitive game modes, not in normal game modes. That's the thing that a lot of these people don't know how to do anymore.
Like, Ranked did not even fix anything. Ranked was
If
literally just a
anything,
worse version of Arena.
yeah, if anything, it made the game worse. It's almost like Arena. We were better off with Arena instead of Ranked. Well, I mean, the thing is, though, people putting skill-based matchmaking in casual game modes, that's not just a Fortnite problem. It's a pretty much an everybody problem, especially COD. And that's what ruins COD for me. Especially Modern Warfare 2. And that's why I stopped playing it after like 2 or 3 months. I mean, the fact they're focusing on yearly chapters instead of fixing issues with their game is sad. Yeah, it is sad. It is sad, especially what happened during this season. This season should not have been the disaster that it was. It started off decent, and then it went to shit. Like after like a month of playing it, I just got so burnt out of it to the point I was just like, I can't. I was so frustrated
Yeah.
too at the same time. I was just like, I can't. I mean, I grinded on this season more than I did in Chapter 3 Season 3, and this makes me wish that I played Chapter 3 Season 3 more.
Yeah, and look at the
This
fucking.
season makes me want to apologize for Chapter 3 Season 3. It makes me apologize for shitting on that season because at least Chapter 3 Season 3 was not as bad as this. At least it wasn't as boring as that. At least there was more content added. During the summer event, you had the entire map decorated summer themed. You had a weapon get unvaulted each day. and then you had weapons get unvaulted on the final weeks of the season. But are we seeing anything like that this current season? Nope.
And in fact, I would honestly rather take the primal season than this season because even though the primal season was absolute dog shit, at least the theme was original at the time. They had a lot of unique mechanics and a lot of creative concepts like crafting, wildlife, and the bows. And at least in the primal season, they tried to fix the game by bringing back the tac shotgun and the infantry rifle. They did more to fix the primal season than they did to fix this season.
I mean, the sad thing is, I even said that this season failed what Chapter 3 Season 3 failed to do. Well, clearly, I guess that's just an L I'm going to forever carry on my shoulders. Because that clearly did not age well at all.
Like this season had some potential. Like even though I thought this season was fucking horrible from the start, I did think it had some sort of potential, but of course that slipped away very quickly.
It slipped away after, like, no, not even after a month. Like, right before the first month. Like, right at the end of June, it was slipping away. Like, the second they took the heavy sniper out of the game and replaced it with the explosive repeater rifle. At that moment, that was when the season was slowly turning to shit. And then shortly after that, we had that garbage summer update, which in fact really wasn't an update at all. Where
And I think
all you had was a square, a little square in the middle of the jungle with giant spray paints of fucking Meowscles and Peely. And then a bunch of ice cream cones. Yeah, I could eat chocolate chip ice cream cones like fucking Joe Biden. Yeah, so cool. What a great summer update. What a complete joke.
And the biggest joke, I think, besides the summer update, is the fact that literally they're doing Rainbow Royale right now, and the skin they were planning to add into the game was literally created by a fucking pedophile,
I
and
mean,
that's
I mean,
not
look at
even
it.
a joke.
I know, and the fact that people are even defending this, people are even defending the skin and the creator of it. Like people are saying things like, "Where is she? Why did you take Lee Harmony out in the store?" And honestly, and then people are saying, and all it's taking is a small handful of individuals to spread the word that the person that created this skin is a confirmed pedo, is a groomer who was having an inappropriate chat with a 13-year-old. And
Like this just fucking
all it's taking is a small handful of people to spread the word. Hey, would you mind putting those
yeah,
screenshots in
I
the
did put the screenshots.
yeah, because I'm showing it like because people are gonna say, "Oh, Thunderbuddy, you're just homophobic, or you're making this shit up because they're gay." No, it's actually confirmed. Look, this is real. It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. I
Like
cried because you
fucking look
see.
at this shit. This is who they were planning on giving like a concept skin to. I thought Denny was bad,
And look,
but this is like so much worse. The only thing Denny did was say a bunch of racist shit and act like a sensitive crybaby. This person literally tried to fuck a child.
I know, and this is the person that made the skin. Star, not Fury. Star, not Fury. That was who made the skin, and people were saying,
Like
"Oh, why is it not in the game?" Well, now you all have a complete better idea of why it's not in the game right now, and I hope Epic does the right thing and keep it out of the game and permanently out of the game. At that point, I would rather have Travis Scott back in the game than that.
shit, at least with Travis Scott, it was his management who fucking set up the event and he was only there to perform and didn't really know what was happening. This is just a caught in 4K moment.
Someone put in the chat, "Bro wants his cupcake." I just want to go pick up a cupcake. Ho ho.
Like this just shows you that Fortnite does not give a single shit who they added to the game. Like they're just doing it for money. Ali has a notorious track record of scamming his fan base with fake giveaways and uploading clickbait content, and they added him as a fucking icon skin. Tabor Hill literally said that a suicidal person killing themselves was cowardly, and he gets a locker bundle. Fortnite does not give a shit. These screenshots were literally around way before Epic Games even decided to create the skin, but they didn't bother to do any research.
I
They
know
were
that's the
this was
issue
just
too.
them trying to pander.
I'm just saying because like if they actually do if they do release that skin, I am going to make a fiery rant on the event if they do release that skin because if they release that skin, they're aligning themselves with pedos, with creeps. They will be aligning themselves with them. They'll be publicly defending them at that point if they do release that skin.
At this point, for her next
It's all
concert,
here. I mean, it's all fucking here. Like I said, it's all there and it's plastered all over Twitter. I'm not making this shit up either. These are not forged or photoshopped. They're plastered all over Twitter. It's all there. You can see it for
like you
yourself.
could see, the date is literally from like
Yeah, I
fucking
know. From
2021.
I know from 2021. So these have been around for years. These have been around for years, but clearly they don't give a shit about these people. They don't care about the dark sides. They don't even dare to even take in. They don't even dare to take one eye to look at the dark sides of these people.
Yeah, like at this point, their next they might at this point Fortnite might as well have R. Kelly as their next in-game concert if they're trying to do shit like this.
And the worst part is the people that are defending it saying, "Oh, but Fortnite is rated T for teen." Do you think people give a shit about ratings anymore, especially for a free-to-play game? There's no restriction to that. Why do you think a bunch of 9-year-old kids play Call of Duty now? In fact, that's the majority audience of COD's current player base.
And it doesn't matter what
It's rated M.
game.
It's rated M too. And guess what? Nobody gives a shit. Fuck, I was able to buy a rated M game at the age of 15, and no one gave a shit.
Like literally, like it doesn't matter what fucking game it is or what rating it has. A pedophile is still a pedophile at the end of the day.
Exactly. And they should not be rewarded in any way, shape, or form. If anything, they should be in jail. They should be in jail, if anything.
And this same concept artist got so much hate on Twitter that they literally privated their fucking account.
Yeah, would you mind showing that too in the chat while everyone's here?
Yeah.
Because
Hold
like,
on. Let
because
me
like,
see.
I don't want, because like everyone that's watching, I don't want y'all to think I'm full of shit or anything, because it's all 100% real and it's all out there. Yeah, because look, and I'll even search for it myself. I'll even search it myself. I'll even search for it myself. Look, see? Completely hidden. Right there. And look at this.
Like this has
You
gotta
even
be
type it in. You even type it in too, and even the message is getting out.
like this
It's
is
now trending
easily
now. And I
the
think they know.
most embarrassing
I know.
thing.
I think Epic knows that if they release this skin, they're done. They're pretty much done. They'll face the same type of treatment Target faced and Bud Light faced. They'll face that same kind of treatment if they do release that skin. Because people are not gonna take this well.
Like
Especially
literally,
people don't take this lightly anymore as they used to. They don't anymore.
the last
Especially
time
when you
I've
know that they're
seen
an actual confirmed horrible person. And it's confirmed.
like the last time I've seen Fortnite do something this embarrassing was in Chapter 3 Season 2. During a war-themed season, they were literally like, if you buy V-Bucks, we're gonna donate the revenue to Ukraine. Like that is one of the most insensitive things.
I mean, and also consider the fact too, they've already gotten like $250 billion from our government. Consider that fact too. They're cashing out checks that our bodies can't cash. What's up, Poland guy? Good to see you back in here again. Creative mode is a joke and LTMs will never return. Unfortunately, that's always unfortunate. Damn, we got 40 people in here. This is probably the highest attendance of people watching in a while. So like I said earlier, if you guys haven't already, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. We got more further discussing, and I'm still trying to read the chat too and addressing everything. How's that bad
Oh,
giving money away? Someone asked you in the chat.
how is it bad to give money away? Well, Ukraine already received enough money,
I
and me
mean, like I said,
personally, I wouldn't give money to a country that's being directed by a war criminal, but that's just me.
I mean the sad thing is too, it's like it's just it's just two corrupt governments fighting each other. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's just two corrupt governments fighting each other. It's I'm almost like Peter Parker. I missed the part where that's my problem. I mean, I will admit though, I did buy like maybe one or two things during that time though. I will admit that at least. I'm not gonna lie completely about that.
Oh, and the funniest part is this was the other person. This person
Oh
actually
yeah,
got skins
Denny.
in the game, Denny. This
Oh yeah,
person who said a bunch
Denny.
of racist bullshit literally got multiple skins in the game.
Oh good lord. Chapter 4,
Like,
Season
this
3 is
shit
the
is
worst
just
season.
embarrassing.
Worst season ever. You can't disagree, but I think the season was horrible. Lack of content, crap summer event, and OP weapons and abilities. Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to Star Guy. I'm trying to read the chat at the same time while having this discussion because I want to include you guys in the discussion as well. Well, that's
Yeah,
obviously it's mainly the lack of content. Oh wait,
yeah.
did Azaz delete his recent video? Yeah, he did delete his recent video. It was a complete like kind of like false alarm, if you will.
Basically, I put up like a message on my community post. Basically, a bunch of assholes instigated me into making a false accusation.
Yeah, I mean that's all it takes is sometimes a small handful of people to misinform you. That's all it takes sometimes, unfortunately. Kind of like the situation where they kind of made us fight each other and started out a stupid rivalry over some false
Yeah,
bullshit over a complete
that's
lie. It was all
yeah,
over a
that's
lie.
literally something I told one of my friends is that the situation that happened to me is the same thing that happened to you because the people from the outside were convincing you that I was plagiarizing you.
I know, because the craziest thing too is it's like this is not the first time I had been in a situation like this. Like in real life, like back in freshman year of high school, a similar thing happened with my like childhood best friend. A similar thing had happened where they thought I was lying because I told them that this girl that you're hanging out with is not good news. Is nothing but bad news, and they completely like disavowed me for it. They completely just like threw me out of their friend group because of it. But then like 2 years later, they realized that I was just trying to protect him and look out for him. Because in the end, she did turn out to be bad news and was extremely verbally abusive to him, which I turned out being right once again. And then our friendship restored, and then we went on through high school, and sadly, I haven't spoken or seen any of them again since, unfortunately. And I hope they're watching this stream somehow because I miss you guys.
Yeah. And I just want to say another thing. If Fortnite ever like drops that Rainbow Royale skin in the game that was created by that person, then that's going to be like a horrible idea. Because if you guys buy that skin, you realize you're literally giving money to a pedophile, right? Like whenever a creator has an icon skin in the game, whenever you buy it, the money goes to Epic Games and the creator itself. If you buy the skin, you're literally giving money to a pedophile.
Which hopefully, like I said, I'm just hoping that they do not release into the game. If they release into the game, they're basically committing Bud Light at that point.
Oh, and speaking of icon skins, apparently Courage JD is getting his own skin at the end of this season.
You mean at the end of the event? You mean also?
Yeah, and honestly, I don't even mind that because Courage JD is a chill guy and he makes pretty decent content. So I don't mind Courage JD getting a skin. But the main thing I'm upset about is how Fortnite keeps on dodging typical gamer Tifu and Myth. I used to think Nick 30 deserved a skin, but after how he's been acting recently, being a crybaby, yelling at kids over Fortnite roleplays, I don't really think Nick 30 deserves a skin anymore.
I know that's just ridiculous. But I do think though, like, wait, what was it? Courage JD.
Yeah, Courage JD.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with him. I mean, he may not be a perfect guy, but he probably has one of the cleanest records compared to like most of these Fortnite skin creators.
Like he definitely has a cleaner record than Ninja and Ali A.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At least, I mean, if as long as you're making skins from people like those, I don't have a problem with it. But if it's people like Shy Not Fury that is actually confirmed to be a groomer, then that's when it really, really becomes a problem.
And speaking of next season as well, the teasers for next season have just been completely weird and bizarre. Like you can tell that Epic Games don't know how to tease the season. Like the teasers are like all over the place. Like they put some purple light on the map. Like they don't know
Yeah, I
what they're
mean, like I
doing or
said,
how to even tease this.
they changed their Twitter profile picture. They changed it to that, and of course, I follow them on Twitter because why the hell not?
And it's just a bunch of red lasers.
Lasers, kind of like that one world and cluster truck.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I probably shouldn't be giving them ideas to collaborate with Cluster Truck, even though it's a 2016 game. I mean, the fact that that they just threw random collabs that made almost no sense, like didn't really fit the theme of the season, like throwing in Arnold, throwing in Futurama, and Jujutsu Kaisen. That's what just don't make sense. If they would have just like they had like a moment of opportunity that they just blew it. I mean, there's a lot of people who deserve icon skins into the game or deserve to have their own skins into the game. I don't know who, but I know there's tons of people out there that don't have their names well known, and some that are actually good people that don't have their skins. But of course, the ones that are getting skins, the ones that are getting the special treatment, most of them turn out to be like the worst people that have really really big dark sides, which don't start getting spoken out, which people don't start speaking out until the moment it happens. Fortnite is just relying on collabs to save its season rather than fix the drum shotgun or the mobility problem until they added in the grapple glove, which that they should have just added that in the first place. I don't know why they didn't. They've thrown a back-to-back collabs after a horrible summer update. I mean, that's obviously true, but it wasn't until like the final weeks of the season they really took collabs seriously. They took them to a whole new level. Well, I just hope that the drum shotgun will get taken out next season. I mean, the only thing we know about next season as of like now is they're adding in those armored walls and suppressed snipers. Now, I'm definitely excited for the suppressed snipers because I'm like you can like I made this point back in 2021. You cannot have a battle royale game without snipers. Fortnite is almost nothing without snipers. That was one of the main
And
mechanics of the game since day 1 that they just took out yet again.
the main thing I'm not happy about is the armored walls, because the armored walls are just fucking annoying, especially when people are boxing up with them.
I know, like during like the first 2 seasons of Chapter 3, I definitely felt that pain numerous times, but the good thing was there were tanks then. That was the only good thing about tanks then, is when people did that. Is just
Like, if they're gonna
box
have
up.
armored walls in the game, they should at least have something to counter it. Maybe bring back the railgun. Even though the railgun's overpowered, it'll at least be a counter for the armored walls.
I know, that's the thing too. It should do that or or like the explosive charges. You could bring those back too. Or buff the grenades. Buff the grenades then at that point, because 40 damage? Like, what a joke.
Especially since no one has ever complained about grenades since season 0. Since
Like,
before the game was even properly launched.
no one ever complained about it, hardly. No one ever complained about it, and they instead, they have to fucking nerf grenades. Like, that was arguably one of the most stupid but hilarious things that they ever did. Ever since we've been in chapter 4. Damn, we got 17 likes on this stream. And like I said,
I
guys,
almost feel like
my goal is
Fortnite
30. My goal is 30 or 40 likes
I
this stream. That's
I
my
almost
goal.
feel like Fortnite nerfed the grenades only because of no builds. I feel like they just completely forgot builds was a thing most of the time.
That's the sad part. Damn, we got 22 likes already. Damn. Love you guys. I appreciate it. And I appreciate some of the stuff that you guys are adding in the chats. What are you excited for next season? Well, the only thing I'm
I'm
really excited
excited that this season is ending.
that's the number one for me. I'm excited that this shithole of the season that we're currently in right now, chapter 4, season 3. I'm glad that that's ending. And second, I'm definitely excited for suppressed snipers. I definitely loved the suppressed sniper. I
I
just
mean,
hope I
the
just hope
fact
I just hope they don't fuck it up as bad like they did at the end of chapter 3 season or no, during most of chapter 3 season 3. I just hope they don't
what
fuck it
I
up like that.
the one thing that I am excited about is if there's a live event because I'm hearing all these rumors about Courage JD appearing like at the end of an event or something. Hopefully there might be a live event showing that. And I'm
I know.
also kind of excited for Courage JD as well because he definitely deserves a skin. Like he's been there since the beginning. He's had a lot of iconic moments of him playing with Connor and him trolling people and also trolling Ninja and Cypher PK. Like Courage JD definitely deserves a skin.
And I know that that's a rare thing for me to say, but I actually agree. It's a rare thing to hear me say, but I agree. More people like that should be getting icon skins or skins put or their own skins put into the game. People like that
Like
should be.
I like
I
I
mean,
said, the main people who I think deserve a skin are typical gamer, Tifu, and Myth.
yeah, I'm definitely excited. I'm about, but back to what you were talking about the next season is I'm very hoping that they're going to like add in a finale event or they're going to have a good Halloween event. I mean, I'm definitely excited for Halloween. I don't know why I'm excited for Halloween. I just love the holiday in general. But I'm definitely excited to see what they have to offer. Whether if it's good or whether if it's shit or if it's just the same. I'm just excited to see what happens then. But there should have been a finale event or there should have been a live event of some sort. There should have been during this chapter, but unfortunately there wasn't.
Yeah, like I was expecting there to be a live event in Chapter 4 Season 2 because there was some like dragon creature on top of Mega City, and I thought it would come to life and like cause an earthquake or something.
I mean, the thing too is that could have been an opportunity to explain how the fuck Dr. Sloan survived those two things that happened in the previous chapter. That could have given us a better explanation. But no, they completely abandoned the storyline. They completely
Yeah,
decided to toss away the storyline.
but another thing I'm excited for the next season is September because Juice World's album, The Party Never Ends, is planning on to be released in September. And the Juice World collab was going to happen in Fortnite. His managers in Chapter 3, Season 3 were literally saying, hey, we're working on a collaboration because people loved Come and Go in the Rift Tour event. In fact, the loading screen for Chapter 3, Season 3 literally had The Party Never Ends as the description. So if Juice WRLD's album finally releases in September, we could finally see another big in-game concert for the first time in 2 years.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like, I personally, I don't listen to rap music, but it would be exciting to see something like that though for September. I mean, if we saw something like that, that would actually be exciting. honestly.
Hopefully, they just don't delay the album for the 600th time again due to leaks, even though leaks don't even affect album sales.
That's the thing too. Dr. Sloan survived because she hid inside a tank before the robot smashed it. But how the fuck did she get out of it completely unscratched? Tanks can
Yeah,
be
like she
crushed too, just
still should be.
especially with heavy armor like that. From a heavy ass robot like that.
And
Where
also,
in the event you saw a tank get crushed as well.
yeah. And especially consider the fact that the whole fucking island exploded during the time Dr. Sloan was on the map.
Last
Unless
event was
Dr.
just
Sloan is fucking Goku and instant transmission to out of the map the last second, I highly doubt that she would survive that.
I only seen Marshmallow during Chapter 1, Season 7. Damn, Base Spartan, you're missing out then. You're missing out then. What's your favorite genre of songs? I definitely love rock music. Like mainly like 70s, 80s, 90s rock. I do love to like cycle from then to like today's music as well. Like even music all the way up to like 2010s. There's only like a couple songs in the 2020s that I like, but I'm just not really a big fan of today's music just to be fair and honest, but there's certain kinds I still tolerate. Then there's Kid Leroy. Travis Scott and Ariana Grande concerts were good. Then Kid Leroy. Of course, I wasn't there for Kid Leroy, except all I did was joke about it because that was the live event instead of actually having a finale. No, instead of having a season finale event.
I experienced the Kid Leroy event multiple times, and it was the most NPC thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, good lord. It just makes the Ariana Grande concert and the Travis Scott concert look like look gold.
Shit, at least they weren't made in fucking creative mode before Creative 2.0 even released.
Season 4 looks like another spy season. I'm kind of excited. Well, we'll just have to wait
Oh,
and see. We'll just have to wait and
well,
see.
like, I've been seeing, like, this blood moon crescent, like,
I know.
be sent to certain creators.
I've seen that a lot too. Let me look at this real quick. Oh no, I don't want to look at the Hypex thing. Season 4 teaser. Are you in? August 25th.
Yeah.
It's crazy because like when I filmed my video ranting on my final rant on Chapter 4, Season 3, we were only a week and a half away from that season from this current season ending, and now we're just a week away from it ending until we go into Season 4 of Chapter 4. It's crazy how fast time goes.
Yeah, apparently I've been seeing another very big rumor that Ahsoka from Star Wars is going to be a secret skin, which I wouldn't be surprised as long as they don't bring some overpowered lightsaber mythic into the game, I'll be fine.
It said that there will be an eclipse causing a blood moon. Other people were thinking that the ice moon will crash into the island. Yeah, it could be possible. Could be. Could be possible. The lightsabers are both
Well,
fun and annoying. I could definitely agree with that too.
this blood moon thing sounds promising. As long as they actually show this happen in an event, then that's going to be
And
cool.
as long as the event is not 45 minutes just hopping into tiny random pieces of floating islands, as long as it's not anything like that, then we'll be all right.
As long as the first season is no, and as long as the first part of the event isn't spent shooting at drones like the Galactus event and the Collision event.
As long as it's not something like that, then we'll be fine. Cuz what the hell? Star Wars event was okay, but mythics were OP. I bet they would add an OP crossover mythic next season. Nah, they probably will. I mean, they've been doing it every single season since Chapter 4 started, so I really wouldn't be surprised if they decide to do it again next season.
I mean, I'm guessing that next season is probably going to be Blood Moon slash Heist Theme. Here's a fun fact: Chapter 2, Season 4 was originally going to be a bank slash heist theme season. There are concept images proving that, but Fortnite changed the whole season to Marvel just to sell out and completely abandon their integrity.
Yeah, that's exactly the biggest problem I had with Chapter 2, Season 4. Even though I was kind of rough on that season, like I kind of trashed it a lot, but it's at the end of the day, it's still not the top one of the top 3 worst seasons of all time. Now I think we know that one of the top 3 worst seasons of all time. This current season is already now one of the top 3 worst, if not top 2. Which I could definitely tell from my latest poll on my community page. I could definitely tell that a lot of people would definitely put this as like the second worst season of all time.
Let me look at that poll real quick. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm actually gonna take a look at that. I'm gonna actually look at that too real quick.
Chapter 2, Season 6 is winning with 60%. Chapter 4, Season 3 is winning with 24%. Chapter 3, Season 3, 8%. And other seasons, 9%.
Yeah, cause yeah, let me look at this real quick. Yeah, yeah, 443 votes. Damn, that's a lot of votes. Probably way more than the poll that the poll I posted for if you wanted to see a Battlefield ranking video. Even way more than that by 4 times. 4 times that number. 60% say Chapter 2 Season 6 was the worst, and damn, 23% said Chapter 4 Season 3 was the worst, and 8% said Chapter 3 Season 3, and 9% said other. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, I can understand why people think the Primal season is worse, but me personally, I still think this season is the worst of all time, purely because the theme of this season was literally recycled from the Primal season. And the Primal season would have been so much better if the creative concepts and unique mechanics that they had, like bows, crafting, and wildlife, if those mechanics and ideas were improved or they made it better, then Chapter 2, Season 6 would not have been that awful.
Is it bad that I like collab skins? No, it's not. It's not bad at all. And I personally own a couple collabs myself. I only own a couple, and that was before I started like making Fortnite rant videos. And the only collab that I bought ever since I started like expanding on YouTube was the Mr. Beast one. Which a part of me is glad to own, but at the same time kind of regret. Did you like Season X? Well, I think it was an okay season. It's definitely better than most of the garbage seasons that we see today. And at least Fortnite actually cared more about their game back then. Because when people were complaining about the brutes and the mechs, they addressed that almost instantly. Like so quickly they addressed it. And like in just a matter of weeks, they took them out of the game essentially.
Let me be real about Season X, okay? That season was trash, but that season, looking back, is way better than some of the seasons that came after it.
That's the thing. And we bash the seasons back then, but then we look at today's times and then we notice how much it's gotten worse. And then we look back at those old days, back at the times we trashed them, and then we actually apologize or kind of feel bad for trashing them.
Oh,
It's like the same shit that happened with the Terminator franchise, where a lot of people were bashing on Terminator 3, thinking it was a terrible movie, then Salvation, then Genesis. They thought all those movies were bad. But then when Terminator Dark Fate came out, which arguably was the film that ruined everything, a lot of people went back to the films that they ranted on before, that trashed them before, and they actually apologized.
want to know the craziest
That's
thing?
literally what happened with this season. Like this season actually made me want to apologize to Chapter 3 Season 3 because at least then it wasn't as bad compared to this season.
You want to know the fucking craziest thing of all time? When Chapter 2, Season 2 initially released, most people didn't like it. So many people were frustrated with the mythic weapons and the overpowered aim assist that was essentially aimbot that RIP Fortnite was trending during that season. But looking back at Chapter 2, Season 2, many people call it the best season ever and call it good. That just shows you how low Fortnite has fallen since then.
Did you enjoy and watch the movie Oppenheimer? Yes, I did. I even posted on Twitter that I really love that movie. I'll even show you the tweet that I even posted. I'll even show you. Oh, no, no. Damn it, I can't find it. Yeah, like I even posted it. It was one of the greatest movies I had seen in a very long time at that point. I even showed that tweet. But it's just sad to see how much it's fallen. And I'm telling you what, if the current state of the game keeps going the way it is now, it will only get worse from here on out. But all it really depends is how chapter 4 ends or how this next season will go. That's where it's really going to count the most. Like if the finale event turns out bad and then chapter 5 has no hype, the game's going to lose more players. It may have
Because
a
the thing
it may
is,
have a bigger drop than it did in February 2023.
yeah, because like the thing is, even though Chapter 4 Season 1 was a decent season, it wasn't a bad season. The first month of its release, it was nearly unplayable due to the amount of bugs and glitches inside of it. So if that happens again with Chapter 5, and if Chapter 5 is worse, then that's not going to be a good sign.
That's going to be like one of the biggest red flags. Of course, we don't wish for that to happen. We don't want that to happen. We're not saying we want that to happen. We just hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah. And
Are
that's
y'all are
another
y'all
reason why.
are you all gonna play a match of Fortnite? I'm definitely planning on doing another Fortnite stream like at the end of the season. I did say in my last stream that the next time I'm gonna be doing a gameplay stream is at the end of the season. Right now, this is just a discussion as we're now just about a week away from the season finally coming to an end.
Yeah. And someone just asked me whether or not Chapter 4 Season 1 or Chapter 4 Season 2 was better. I think both of them were decent seasons, but I'd say that Season 1 was better because I really hated playing the game during Season 2. Even though Season 2 was also a decent season, I just hated playing the game during that time. I think Season 1 was better because I just liked the Christmas event.
I mean, I like the
And
Christmas event. The
also,
thing is, though, the season arguably still should not have been as long as it was. It shouldn't have, unfortunately.
yeah. And also, I enjoyed the Mr. Beast tournament. In fact, I won the umbrella that they were giving
Yeah,
out.
sadly I did not attend that event 'cause I had to fucking work that day, unfortunately.
Mm.
But hey, it almost wouldn't have mattered anyway, 'cause I wouldn't, because there's no way I would have won shit. I wouldn't have won shit.
Like the tournament itself was actually way more easier than most of the fucking tournaments you see. Like all you really had to do was survive like challenges like red light, green light, and like there was another challenge where you had to like I don't really know how to explain it. You were like in this icy area and you had to collect coins
Yeah,
on a
oh yeah,
platform.
and arguably Mr. Beast was more reliable then. He was more reliable then, arguably. Like more people wanted to watch him back then, unlike today's times. But at the same time, I kind of feel bad because like he posted on his Instagram story a few months ago, kind of like telling the truth of like how much money he really made on like that video where he had the train pit. Like he openly admitted the truth of how much money he made. And I'll just say it was almost an outrage.
Honestly, looking back, Sunny V2 was pretty much right because I
I
feel
know
like the Chris Tyson
that's the sad
controversy
man.
really did destroy most of Mr. Beast.
I know. The sad thing is too. The sad thing too is that's another L I'm gonna be carrying on my shoulders because you know it's a guy I hate being wrong, and we doubted Sonny V two, but then in the end he turned out being right. And no, he wasn't mainly right about the whole Chris Tyson thing. The thing was he did it himself. Most of Sonny V 2s points about Chris Tyson wasn't exactly how it went because most of the damage that happened with the Mr. Beast brand and Chris Tyson was all done by Chris Tyson himself. It was mainly him, and it all happened after his video. A lot of the things that made people turn against Chris Tyson all happened after that video came out. Like the fact that he threatened to sue people, then he was flexing flexing $1 million in front of his haters, which caused like everyone, including the commentary community, to turn against him. All the people that once respected Chris Tyson didn't at that point. And it had nothing to do with the whole transitioning thing. It had nothing to do with it. It was his personality. People don't understand that respect is not something that's just handed to you just because of what you are or who you are or what you identify as. You gotta fucking earn it. You gotta earn it. And I say that as a man on the autism spectrum. I say that. Do you think I automatically deserve respect for being autistic? No. Because the number one thing that's going to be judged about me the most is my character and personality. I think the video that Sunny V2 was the most accurate on of all the videos that he made was his dream one. Because everything that was exactly going to happen, or most of it, is exactly the way it went down. Where it turned out to be Dream's biggest mistake. And then he even made that video. He made that video having some NASA scientist making a mask for him just so he can hide his face because a bunch of 13-year-old kids on the internet call him ugly. And Sunny
Yeah.
V2 was extremely right about that.
I still think that Sunny V2 is a dog shit YouTuber,
I mean,
and most of
I
his
think he
videos
is too,
consist of him
but
lying.
I can't just hold that back and say he's wrong when in reality he was
Yeah.
right.
I mean, those are like the only two times he was right. Most of the time, he just spreads blatant misinformation, like with Skeppy and Ninja.
Have you ever watched Mr. Top 5? He's the biggest clickbaiter ever. Yeah, he's a fucking clickbaiter, all right.
I don't even care about Mr. Top 5 anymore. Mr. Top 5's been doing the same shit for years. People really need to move on from him.
Like how Chapter 2 Season 2 had Spy Games and Chapter 2 Season 4 had Marvel Knockout. Yeah, I remember Marvel Knockout. I didn't remember it much, but I remember that. Like even then they still had like custom like mini games and LTMs. Like I just still miss those old times of Fortnite.
Yeah,
And
I miss the Marvel game modes. Honestly, the Marvel season would have been so much more better if in the main game, like the main game, there was like over 10 mythics in the game, which was ridiculous. There were even mythics of characters who didn't even have a skin in the game, like Black Panther. If the only mythics in the main game were the mythic weapons that had bosses, and you had to kill the bosses to get the mythic, if those were the only mythics in the main game, while the other side mythics were put in those Marvel Knockout game modes, then the Marvel season would have been so much better because you wouldn't really see people complain that much about the overpowered mythics.
yeah, unfortunately. I feel like LTMs are never coming back because Epic is pushing Creative 2.0 as new new norm, even though it's trash. Unfortunately, that's true. Unfortunately, that's true. Because they're trying to push Creative 2.0 as like the new normal. And that's probably why you'll never see LTMs come back.
Even before they were developing Creative 2.0, LTMs started to fade in the dust.
All in all, unfortunately. This might be an unpopular opinion, but the season was mid. It wasn't good, but it wasn't bad. Unfortunately, I can't say that about this season. I respect your opinion and all, but I can't say that. I can't say that about this season because this season was just so boring and so dog shit. It eventually got to the point I just couldn't anymore. And I even stopped playing this game for quite a while. That's why the the lack how the amount of normal videos I would usually make kind of slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, I literally quit the game too. The only time where I went back on was whenever there was a new update.
Me, whenever it was, or whenever I felt like doing a stream, because like even like a quarter or half the streams I've done were literally like playing Creative 2.0. Or there were some streams where I played the normal game that I was just like, I'm done. Let's go to creative.
Like literally the best
I mean, I
fucking
think
part, like
the best part about this season was definitely playing Creative 2.0 and definitely some of the subscriber lobbies that we had done in Motel Gun
yeah,
Game. That was
like
probably like the
literally
best moment.
the best memory we literally have in the season is that one game where when I died to fall damage, the game didn't end, but when you did it, the game ended,
I
and
know
that
that
was
that's a
literally
memory.
in.
That's a memory we're going to be carrying on. We're probably going to be talking about for years to come.
Like literally, and this was something that happened not even the season itself. It happened in a creative game mode that was probably made a long time ago.
I know. At least it was at least in 2022 because I remember using that for background gameplay footage for both my Brasso videos I made while I was out of
Yeah.
town, while I was in Arkansas. I don't want to play Grimace versus Skibidi Toilet. I didn't hear about that
Yeah,
one,
that's the
but that
typical like
I
creative map.
I know
Like
that
most creative
that's
map
most of
you
the shit you
see,
see.
yeah, like most creative maps you see is literally fucking shit like, oh, Grimace versus this or this guy versus that. Like
I mean,
they're all
create.
copy and paste
I
of
know
each other.
creative has always been that way, but ever since Creative 2.0, that's just went up drastically. I show speed is crazy. Got arrested, lit a firework, hospitalized. Showed his quote unquote meat. Hey, I guess we got a good nickname for him. I show speed, more like I show dick.
Yeah, honestly, iShow speech should literally be terminated, but I know YouTube is not going to do it because they like to play favoritism. iShow Speed scammed his fan base, showed a
I show
Minecraft sex mod to
cupcakes.
children, lit a firework up in his house, promoted a crypto scam to his fans, striked down and fucking copyright claimed thousands of videos, and he is still on the platform, even though he's literally the biggest scumbag on YouTube currently. Like he is
This,
still on the platform.
I mean, the sad part is you say the same thing about people like Jaden. Jaden, I'm like, how the fuck is Jaden even still on YouTube despite being an open racist, promoting antichrist rhetoric and promoting violence against religious people? Like, how the fuck is Jalen still on YouTube? That's what I don't get. It's all favoritism.
Like literally, like the main YouTubers you saw like blow up in recent years have been going downhill. iShow Speed's been going downhill. Kaisenat has been going downhill. Gideon is still a good person, but his channel's kind of been losing relevancy, and I don't even want to know. I don't even fucking know what Aiden Ross is doing anymore.
Oh yeah, and speaking of Jalen, I forgot to mention too. It's like I searched up Jaden's channel recently. It's like Jaden's channel doesn't even pop up like as a number one thing anymore. It's some other channel than all the rant videos made on Jaden, and then eventually it'll scroll all the way to his channel.
It's like
It's like
Jaden has
Jaden,
become
Jaden,
so fucking
Jaden,
hated.
Jaden might finally gotten shadow banned. And honestly, if that's the case, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. I usually don't like to wish the worst on people, but when it comes to people like that, I think the worst happening to them is completely justified. I don't like to be that kind of guy, but when piece of shits like that are still roaming around the platform getting away with the shit they do constantly, they deserve that karma. Karma's a bitch, but sometimes good at the same time.
That whole
Oh,
shit with Neon of him getting jumped, that shit was fake as fuck. Like, this kid literally has experience in that. He was literally exposed years ago for faking his own death. People like Soul Illuminati literally exposed him for it. This kid is notorious for faking shit. I definitely know that he faked getting jumped just for attention and just to get noticed by Andrew Tate. It is so obvious. This kid is known for clickbaiting. Like,
yeah, but anyways, I think we should definitely not go off topic. We've had a bad habit of that some certain times we had. Damn, 25 likes. Can we make that to 30? Can we make that to 40? As we begin to slowly come to our conclusion of this current season, would you like to start off with your final thoughts? Would you like to
yeah,
start off with your final thoughts?
overall, I honestly think this is the worst season of all time. The battle pass was mid. The map was fine, even though the jungle area was filled with campers due to the indestructible trees, and like also just the fact that it was a pain in the ass to navigate to. The loot pool was fucking horrendous. The season was extremely boring and lazy. Literally, the two biggest updates in the season were two very minor collabs that brought some skins and like one or two mythics. And fucking the Rainbow Royale thing was an absolute joke, especially since we were planning on giving a pedophile a skin. And overall, I'm just excited for the season to finally end because this season was nothing but a fucking disaster.
I know, and I'm just disappointed because, like I said, I had tried so hard to enjoy and appreciate this season for what it was, but I just couldn't anymore. Rename the event to Cupcake Royale. Oh God. But
Like the last two seasons of Chapter 4 were decent. Like they weren't
I know.
really bad. See, even though I hated playing Neo, I still thought it was a decent season. But this season is just fucking everything like about the season sucks besides the map and like half of the battle pass.
I mean, last season was literally the definition of mid. Last season was the definition of mid. There were a lot of moments that were bad, but at the same time, there were a lot of moments that were good. I think the bad thing was how Creative 2.0 came out, which honestly was an insane feature, and how it just died off so quickly. And all it took was just like a month or two for it to officially die. Who was the pedo? Someone put. Who was it?
Shine
It
on
was. It was
Fury.
shy
You can
not. It was
scroll
shy.
up
It was shy not Fury. And Shy Not
and you
Fury,
can.
the guy who was gonna get a skin, literally sent these to an underage kid.
Yep.
Like, I'm not making this shit up. I wish I was making it
You,
up, but I'm not. And Fortnite
you can
almost gave
literally
it almost
see.
almost accepted this person's custom skin. Almost accepted it.
As you
Fortnite
can
almost
see,
did.
this
And
happened
and
on
and
the
completely
22nd of September
I know,
of
and then when it
2021.
when it started coming out, when it started to get released, completely blocked the Twitter account. Completely privated his Twitter account. And even
Yeah,
admitted creator of Harmony Lee.
I'm really just praying that there is at least some type of. I'm at least praying that there's like at least some type of event at the end of the season because I'm hearing all these rumors about Courage JD showing up. Hopefully, there's an event like that. I'm hoping, and everything is leading up to that with the telescope on the map, like shooting to the sky with purple, the blood moon crescent. Like everything is leading up to an event. They have a perfect opportunity to do so.
I
And
mean, this
while
se-
some people might say like by now we would have known there was a live event, maybe they're doing some sort of like secret event to surprise people and generate
I know,
hype. That's
I
the
know.
only reason. That's
That's
the
probably
only reason
that's
that
probably why,
explains why the teasers were so weird.
and that's probably why there hasn't been an event at all this season. Maybe because they're fully preparing for it instead of just floating islands for 45 minutes. Maybe that's probably why. But I think from this point on, walking away from all of this, I definitely am going to be very more cautious and more skeptical for every time Fortnite does a summer season because this was just a big curse. It's like Fortnite is cursed every time when they do summer seasons. Like the summer seasons lately have just been more worse than the last. Like Chapter 3 Season 3 was bad. I never thought they were going to make a season worse than that, but they did this time unfortunately. I think from this point on, I'm going to be more cautious for when they do a summer season.
Especially if it's jungle themed.
I mean the jungle area was the only like the map, the jungle area was the only thing fine about the season. That's the only thing that was fine about the season. Everything else just sucked. The battle pass was boring. The loot pool was fucking horrendous. The lack of mobility was horrendous for more than 90% of the season. And of course, the third partying too. I definitely cannot forget to mention the third partying, how horrendous that was. I think that's what made the season so unenjoyable and unplayable. Like, I remember the very last game I played where I killed an entire duo, and then another duo is shooting me from on top of a mountain using explosive repeater rifles.
Like they really need a next time there's a new map, they need to cut down on the mountains and the hills because this is
Or the
why
fucking
no
tall
builds is
ass,
so frustrating.
or the tall ass trees.
Yeah,
So it's
this
so
is
it's not
literally
like
why no builds is so annoying, because everywhere on the map there's these big mountains and hills.
so you won't be thinking that you're playing a Vietnam War simulator. If I wanted to play a Vietnam War simulator, I would have said so. I would have replayed the Black Ops Cold War campaign again. I would have played that again if I wanted that.
I mean, like,
Even though that game's multiplayer is already so unsafe to play now because there's already hackers loading up their lobbies.
yeah, I mean, if they really wanted to make this season
Or that.
Vietnam so bad, like I said, they should have just added the AK-47 and the helicopters back into the game.
I mean, they already did have AKs in Team Rumble, but the thing was,
But no one even
that's
plays
what
Team
I
Rumble.
know. That's the thing. Despite people not liking Team Rumble or people not playing it as much, for some reason Team Rumble had a better loot pool than the normal season did. Like I just don't know. It's like I thought third partying in every other season I played before was so bad, but I never imagined it being as bad as it was this time. 'Cause holy hell, that was so horrendous. This season's definitely a 3 out of 10. But if I could give it a higher rating, probably at least a 4, but I think I'm sticking to a 3 at this point. There was supposed to be weaponized choppers this season, but sadly they decided not to do that and not fix the mobility problem. That could have also fixed the mobility
Well,
problem.
I literally knew that they were trying to make the season Vietnam. They were literally planning
Viet
on adding
fucking
weaponized
Nam.
choppers, which not only would that have fixed the mobility problem, that would have made this season more exciting.
I mean, yeah, that's what it would have instead of having to fucking ride raptors all over the fucking place.
And have
And there was a lot of
constant
collabs
wildlife attack you.
and there were tons of collabs that they could have done that would have actually fit in perfectly for the theme and stuff.
Like they could have added Rambo, they could have added One Piece, they could have
Rambo, One
added Dutch
Piece,
from the Predator franchise, the guy who literally fights the Predator itself. Like they could have
Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones. They could have did those too. But nope, they fucked it.
like all of the collabs they introduced should have been added last season. In fact, the most recent collab they did was with some person called Becky Lynch, like these WWE wrestlers. Like who the fuck asked for these people to be in the game? Who even are they? Like if you're gonna do
Hell,
a
I don't even
WWE
know.
collab, you should have just added the Undertaker or an actual Rock skin.
And of course, the mobility. The only thing they have for the mobility is shockwave grenades and zero builds. Even then, no one used them. No one really used them. The grapple glove was the only piece of mobility that was actually useful.
And the
And
shockwave grenades if you were playing no builds.
that's what I said. But even in zero builds with them, hardly anyone used them. At least from my end, from my perspective, at least. I mean, I just wanted to enjoy this season so much. I can't. I really can't anymore. All right. I don't know why they chose to do female wrestlers. And the thing too about the Rainbow Royale thing, I don't know why someone added in this one comment. Someone added this in. I can't find it. Yeah, it was mostly people on Twitter literally defending that skin. People were defending that person. And here
Most of them.
there was the worst comment yet, and I'm trying to find this comment. It was like the worst possible comment. And it just shows how fucking careless and clueless this person was literally defending the skin, even when people were calling this person out for being a groomer, completely ignored it like it was nothing. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to find it because there's so many more comments now. I'm not gonna be able to find it now, but it's just sad to be honest with you that people are gonna defend that, and then they're gonna defend that. They'll even defend it with their lives.
Yeah.
But I don't know what else there is. I think we've already discussed nearly everything we could discuss, even though we went off topic a couple times while talking about that certain subject.
Yeah. But overall, I really think that next season is probably going to be mediocre at best because I feel like they're just going to recycle the same stuff that they used in Chapter 3 Season 4, but make it all Blood Moon themed or spy themed.
I mean, spy theme. I mean, they have the ideas. They have like the ideas and stuff. They definitely would have the momentum to do it. I just don't know why they never do it. But this could change. It could change next season, but we'll find out soon enough. Anyways, guys, this is definitely going to be anyone have any last calls? Got last calls for questions, last call for super chats, or any final thoughts from you at least? Because damn, we're only an hour and a half into this, and I think we've already discussed nearly everything.
Yeah, because really not much happened this season. Like they barely updated the game. Like if you look at some of the other discussion streams we did for like the last seasons, they were way longer.
I know, and there were more discussion streams to it. This season only had like two.
Which was
Only
at the
had two
beginning
discussion.
and at the end of the season.
But
Oh, one thing we didn't mention was the fact that they brought in the MK Alpha and the lever action shotgun,
oh
which the
yeah,
lever action
the lever
shotgun was
shotgun,
good.
that was good, and I had no problem with that gun. That was probably one of the only three weapons in the loophole I had no problem with. Well, the flapjack rifle, I was very mid about that gun. It was good at like medium to close range, but at long range, it was ass.
The MK Alpha, honestly, I don't really mind the MK Alpha too much. Like it can be like annoying and overpowered at times, especially the mythic one, but I feel like the MK Alpha is a fine gun. I'm glad it replaced the Red Eye assault rifle though, because the Red Eye was just
The
so
red the
bad.
red
I
eye
would
the red eye would not have been as good. It wouldn't have been as good compared to like the shit we were versing, like the drum shotgun, the combat SMG, and the explosive repeater rifle. Well, explosive repeater rifle definitely could have. I mean, I mean, I'm glad. I'm just thankful at least that the MK Alpha was not the MK7. I'm just grateful it wasn't that.
And also, they did bring back the fireworks flare gun at one point, which I don't like the flare gun at all. Not because it can like track players or whatever, just because it's so fucking annoying when people are spamming it and burning down your builds.
That's just how it is, unfortunately. I mean, the best way to describe this whole season was literally just a blast from the past. That's all it was. A lot of the shit that they did was kind of reboot versions or bootleg versions of stuff that they had done already and stuff that they had done in the past. Like the alien gun from Chapter 2, Season 7, they essentially brought that back, but this time with Bender's ray gun, but more overpowered. And the flapjack rifle was pretty much a bootleg version of the OG LMG that they brought back in Chapter 3.
And in fact, they even did this again with the sharp tooth shotgun, which literally used the same model as the pump, even though it was a different weapon. Like, how lazy do you have to be to create a new weapon and literally use the pump model? At that point, just bring back the pump shotgun.
Hey, they were able to bring that back in fucking Team Rumble. Why not bring it back in the normal game? The thing, too, is the best way to describe this whole entire season, other than just calling it a blast from the past, it's like if Chapter 3 Season 1 and Chapter 3 Season 3 had a baby. And this is what it was. Because when it came to the lack of content, which we saw almost no content this season, which is similar to what we saw in Chapter 3 Season 1, even though we saw more content that season. But then Chapter 3 Season 3, you had no content in that either. But, oh yeah, what I meant to say in Chapter 3 Season 1, you had a lot of overpowered spam metas dominate that season as well. So that's why I call it a mixture of Chapter 3 Season 1 and Chapter 3 Season 3. Like I said, it's like if they had a baby.
Yeah, literally. And honestly, if the season was good, I would have still hated playing it because of how fucking horrible the lobbies were. Like, they were constantly filled with fucking sweat players. Like they just need to get rid of skill-based matchmaking and only put it in rank. Because the
Uh,
lobbies were so bad. It was filled with third partying. It was filled with fucking tryhards.
it's like they need. It's like it's almost like that. Just entire mechanic just needs to die overall. That whole mechanic just needs to die at this point. If you're not putting it in where it should be at or where its sole purpose should be, then it needs to go. Because this is like the number one mechanic that has been doing nothing but destroying modern day gaming. Like how it destroyed Modern Warfare 2 2022. Like that was the number one thing that definitely ruined Modern Warfare 2 for me. And I'm definitely am good planning on making a video on Call of Duty sometime soon along with Overwatch.
And another thing we also forgot to mention was the kinetic boomerang, which was gone for nearly half of the season, but recently brought back a few weeks ago.
And that was like the face of the season, or one of the
It
weapons that
was
was the face of the
literally
season,
it was
and they just
literally
completely.
in the loading screen.
I know, and then they just completely threw it all away.
I would say the kinetic boomerang was an alright weapon, but the fact that it did 60 damage, it had no cooldown, and it could lock on to other people, like that was kind of ridiculous. And we also didn't even mention the mammoth pistol, which that gun is like decent. It's a very hit or miss gun. If you like hit that headshot, then that player's essentially gone. But if you don't, then you're kind of screwed.
Pretty much.
And they also completely got rid of the chug splashes and shield kick too, which that was completely fucking ridiculous.
I mean, and yeah, and all you had were the shield mist, the bandages, the med kits, and the normal shields as usual. That's all you had.
The only thing they did to replace both of those items was the literally just a reskin of the chug splash, but it's slap juice instead, which literally like gives you less like shield and just gives you that super run effect, that infinite run effect.
Yeah, it's honestly just I just can't get over how bad the season was. Like I'm just so incredibly disappointed, but we're definitely gonna be playing it for the last time on the last day of the season and give some
But
more final thoughts if we forgot to mention any in this stream. Which I think we've already said
and
everything at this point.
And if there's also one word to describe this season, it would be odd.
Yeah, I first described it as the oddest season ever, but in the end it turned out to be the driest season ever.
And I just hope that Fortnite steps away from the limelight for a little bit and decides to make a banger season.
Well, let's hope for that. But anyways, it's time to get out of here, bro. It's over. But anyways, thank you for joining in the stream, man. I'm glad to have you here as always. Glad to see you here, man.
Yeah.
Okay, like I said, guys, this is the last call for final questions, super chats, whatever, yada yada yada. This is the final call for that because I'm getting ready to wrap the stream up here because holy hell, I'm already getting tired. Man, 34 likes. I gotta go to work in like a couple hours. Shit. Damn it. Damn. Come on, guys. 6 more likes. We get to 40. This would be the most liked stream that we would have since the one that we did a couple weeks ago, which that turned out to have 41 likes. Holy hell. Okay,
You're
now.
getting to a point where you're probably going to get 50 likes on a stream.
Yeah, we were when we had 40 people. We had 40 people watching at the same time. Damn, we only got 300 views too. Holy hell. I just it's just it amazes me to see all the hype and momentum from you guys. How excited you are to see us return for another rant on the season and a discussion. Because this definitely needed to be talked about. But the thing is, the reason why I mainly waited this long to talk about it was because I was just like I didn't want to get extremely repetitive like I did in Chapter 3, Season 3. I just didn't want to. I mean, it was pretty much the same reason why the season sucked. It was just the same reasons why all season round. And I just didn't want to repeat that mistake again. But overall, the season was dog shit. I'm just crossing my fingers that next season will be better. Well, I already guarantee it's gonna be better. I just hope it actually turns out to be a good season. And maybe the best way to end a chapter. What's your favorite chapter? Obviously, definitely chapter 1. No question about it. There's almost no debate for that. I don't even need to debate that. But I think. Damn, I want pizza. Guess what? Me too, master. Me too, master. Speaking of that, that just made me hungry. Damn it. Chapter 1 and 2 was like when they actually cared still. That's the sad reality. I want Fortnite Season 4. It's like, can Season 4 just happen already? I don't care if it's a bad season or a good season. I just want to get out of this shithole of a season that we're currently in right now. I just want the season to already end.
One thing that is confirmed for next season is that there's probably going to be a Doctor Who collab.
Oh, Doctor Who, man. There should definitely be a reference to the Max Headroom hijacking when they showed Doctor Who in 1987. They showed Doctor Who.
They might as well add Max Headroom into the game himself.
I think I'm better than Chuck Swirsky. Freaking liberal. Catch the wave. Hey, maybe I might have a funny Halloween stream. Maybe I'll do a funny stream on Halloween maybe. Where I actually dress up as a costume. Maybe I'll have my face cam working by then.
Or maybe you can do that one thing you did where recreated the EDP445 meme where he eats a Popeye's chicken
I
sandwich.
mean, that's alright. Just put a couple balls in my shirt. Just put a couple balls in my shirt. And then just put on random sunglasses, turn my hat backwards. I mean, that's alright. The guardian of cupcakes. Maybe I'll bring an entire pack of cupcakes. It's just an idea. It's an idea just to be funny. It's an idea to be funny. Maybe a funny Halloween idea. But I'm most likely probably not going to. I mean, I'm already way past the age of decorating for Halloween. I'm already way past that age. I still decorate like outside my house. I still pass out candy, but I'm too old to like dress up in a costume. Those days for me are already long gone. So that's why enjoy if you're a child watching this video, enjoy your childhood as much as you can because life goes faster than you expect.
Also, I will say one last thing. I don't like how they led up to this season because instead of like putting out these creative teasers like they did before, they literally just revealed the whole battle pass. Probably because it got leaked, but who really knows?
I mean, like I mean all we can but all we can do now is wait and soon enough we will find out if but I already guarantee you if even though this season might be mediocre or chapter 4 season 4 might be mediocre at the end of the day it most likely is going to be better than chapter 4 season 3 because this season was just dog shit. But I think that's it. I think I'm going to definitely wrap it up here. Well, Azass, it was nice having you here on the stream as always.
Yep.
Hopefully you'll be back for a final stream of the season, which
Yeah.
we will definitely do next week.
At least I actually showed up to the discussion stream, unlike Jamal Alford, who's probably at Gamers Club.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, school started back for most people, so yeah, he definitely would be at Gamers Club by now. All right, well, take care, man. Good to see you as always.
You too.
Well, guys, I think that's it for this discussion stream. I hope you all enjoyed. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you are new to the channel. And I appreciate all this massive love and support you have given me throughout this whole entire season, especially on my video I made a couple days ago. Just that support was just amazing, and I'm very grateful for that. And damn, we're only 5 likes away from 40. Damn, we're about to surpass the goal. And I love you guys. You all are the best. As we are now closing in on 6,380 subscribers, 50 subscribers, almost 60 subscribers more since the last video. But anyways, I love you all to death. As always, thank you guys for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe for more. And until next time, I will see you all in the next video. And this is ThunderBuddy29 signing off, leaving for the day. Well, not exactly yet. I will be posting a short later. So stay tuned for that. But take care, guys. ThunderBuddy29 out.